And while staying with news from Jammu and Kashmir, the Election Commission has cancelled the May 25th Lok Sabha bypolls in Kashmir's Anantnag. The Election Commission has said that the situation isn't conducive for elections to be held in this region. The election body, they're saying that there is continuous deterioration in the situation in the valley, including incidents of stone pelting, violence and rioting. This comes even as the governor of Jammu and Kashmir, Anantnag, met with the Indian Interior Minister Rajnath Singh to brief him about the law and order situation in the state. Now, several areas in the region like Budgam, Anantnag and Srinagar have been on the boil ever since last month, when violence started. The Election Commission had asked the Home Ministry to provide 74,000 paramilitary personnel to keep vigil. During the bypolls, the Home Ministry on Monday informed the EC that it will be able to spare only 30,000. That is less than half of what was demanded for the elections. Now, voting in Anantnag was rescheduled from 12th of April to 25th May following violence during polling in Srinagar on the 9th of April. All right, let's get in our Chief Domestic Correspondent Kartikeya Sharma, who is joining us live for the latest on this. Kartikeya, the Election Commission has made it very clear that the situation is not conducive for the bypolls to be held in Anantnag. The situation is very, very critical at this point in time. Can we expect, perhaps the EC to review its decision? What happened, let's say, for example, at the meeting between the Home Minister and Anantnag? Any information on what was discussed, and is the situation likely to change?
No, I really don't think the situation is likely to change. And I think, Sana, the larger issue here is that the elections which were not held in Anantnag constituency is not a matter of security. It is not a matter of security. It is not a matter of 687 companies which were required and 200 additional companies which were actually were being given by the MHA on the ground, that there is nothing more they can do about it because they were being stretched. If you read the report, Sana, it talks about the fact the way civil administration has collapsed in South Kashmir. It talks about attacks on panchayat ghars and the schools which were supposed to be polling station. The report talks about the fact that the government cannot get an election conducted because it will further vitiate the atmosphere and even the voting percentage may go down and somehow impacting the integrity of the government itself. So the report, the order of the Election Commission, based on the inputs of the government of Jammu and Kashmir, is a scathing statement. On the way or where the valley of J&K find itself. So, I would say Anantnag decision of Election Commission is less about not having the election there, but it is more about what has happened in the valley. If one goes through the order in the descriptive nature, it tells you that there is no government in South Kashmir.
Absolutely, Kartikeya, but give us a sense of this area of South Kashmir. This is the most vulnerable, has been a lot of PDP supporters in that area. And we're also seeing a lot of the political leadership now going completely underground and, slogans being chanted openly. Now, there is a larger question over here as to how will the government rein in the situation, which is now being termed as, the situation is worse than what we saw in the 90s.
Well, the situation is different from 90s. I wouldn't say it's worse than 90s because in 90s, Kashmiri Pandits had to leave the valley. There were more than 4.5 lakh people who had to leave valley overnight within 72 hours. So I wouldn't say it's as bad as 90s, but it's almost there. And when I say it's almost there, for the reason that the administration has collapsed. So the larger question is, should there be a governor's rule? Should there be a change of position? Has Mehbooba Mufti been able to deliver on the promise which we spoke about, Insaniyat, Jamhuriyat and Kashmiriyat? Has she been able to bring the reconciliation between Jammu and Kashmir? These are the questions as a journalist I can ask, but it is Mehbooba Mufti who has to answer these questions and deliver peace in the valley, and she has failed to do so.
All right, Kartikeya, we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much for joining us there. Of course, we'll be tracking all the developments in Jammu and Kashmir very, very closely right here on WION.